Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
Today, we're going to talk about Nancy Lieberman replacing Cheryl Swoops to be the color commentator on the game between the Indiana Fever and the Dallas Wings last night. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so with the notification bell when you do. We're looking for 4,000 subscribers, and we're getting close, and we need your help. If you like Caitlin Clark, subscribe. If you like Rob, subscribe. Just subscribe. Initially, Cheryl Swoops, a well-known Caitlin Clark hater and former WNBA legend, was going to be the color commentator for the game between the Indiana Fever and the Dallas Wings last night. Now, she did do a preseason game, Caitlin Clark's first game. She was okay. She called her a very good passer, was the biggest compliment she gave. And she even interviewed her after the game. And I rewatched that, Rob, and her questions were decent. And then she touched Caitlin Clark's arm, like, oh, don't give me that fake support thing or fake affection thing. You hate Caitlin Clark.
Right.
Anyway, but she did that. I didn't notice that when I saw it initially. But she's gone on a rampage with hating on Caitlin Clark and underrating her. And the latest thing that happened, I think, that triggered this was a tweet that she had having to do with Diamond DeShields, who cheap shot Caitlin Clark in the last game when Chicago Sky played the Indiana Fever.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what she tweeted. I think this is the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of her doing the game. She's Diamond DeShields, head up, kid. She tweeted that after Friday's 100-81 Fever win over the Sky. Hate will not win. You are covered, and ain't nothing these evil people can do about that. All love for you.
Yeah.
Rob, what do you have to say about that tweet?
That's not very constructive. I mean, you're condoning bad behavior, which is not good. And then, I mean, maybe you're trying. I mean, I like the heads up, kids, fine, but don't. You're bringing your hate onto her. You're saying almost like applauding, saying, "Good job, the way you did that. Way to go."
Right, Rob. She cheap shotted Caitlin Clark. So this is Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, which I'm not on because there's so much toxic stuff there. But Rob, what do you expect when you cheap shot somebody in sports? You will get hatred on Twitter. It has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. Even non-Caitlin Clark fans, like if it happened to some other athlete, whatever, let's say Patrick Mahomes, and you gave him a cheap, tackle in the quarterback, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You're going to get hate on that. Don't do cheap shots and you won't. But the hate is legitimate because cheap shots in sports should not be allowed. That's how people get injured.
Right.
So to defend that, she's basically defending it, Rob. That's
yeah, that's why they're like, people are like, they finally got it. Like, oh, gee, maybe she shouldn't be broadcasting this game. Yeah, you think?
It's not clear who made the decision. I got two answers to that. One was the Dallas Wings refused to allow her to do the color commentary for that game, which is good of them because that she doesn't play for the Dallas Wings. She plays for the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark. And then the other one said WNBA replace Cheryl Swoops. And so I don't know which. It was probably a combination of the two, but they replaced her with Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman, who was also a point guard, by the way. And she was a great player, and she does commentary, and she was very good. The play-by-play for Dallas Wings was the same as it normally is, apparently. Ron Thulin, who's a veteran broadcaster. And I thought they did an excellent job, Rob. What about you?
Oh, yeah. It was very clear, not biased. They talked about both teams, so and both players in both teams, so yeah, it was very well commentated. Yes, I enjoyed it.
Other than when Enrique made a bank shot, she was talking about Enrique or something like that, or form or something like that, or getting shots off. I don't think she called bank on that 3-point shot. But other than that, I thought they were excellent. They did a very good job. Now, Nancy Lieberman decided to make a comment about Caitlin Clark because guess what? She was playing in the game. And so she said this. When I walked in here before the game, there were hundreds of fans lined up. What Caitlin Clark has done for the game is generational, Lieberman said. As a baller, I want to thank you, Caitlin Clark, for lifting our game up. You and so many great players. But what you are doing, you will make these women multimillionaires one day, like Tiger did, like Michael Jordan did. We shouldn't hate on her. We should celebrate her, not tolerate her. My question is, Rob, why is this so hard to say? Why haven't more people been saying this all along about Caitlin Clark?
We've talked about this before, Mark, and I really don't. I'll use your word. I'm flabbergasted. Why they do this? I mean, and Nancy Lieberman is spot on what we've been saying. She's going to, like we mentioned, we're going to bring you more money. I was just going through with some of the players who've been in the league. That so if I walked around and asked who this person was, most people wouldn't even know who AJ Wilson was, Kelsey Plum. They don't even know who these people are, but they're starting to see them now because they're playing with Caitlin Clark. They know who Caitlin Clark is, though.
Right. Well, I mean, let's just break down what you said. All she was basically saying is she's a generational player. That should be obvious at this point.
Yeah.
And it's also obvious that she's going to make them money. And
right.
For some reason, they're not willing to accept that, or it's bothering them they're going to make them money. But if they stop hating on her, maybe they'll make even more money.
Right. Because they're bringing people in who've never watched WNBA until this year. Until this year, a lot of people have never watched a WNBA game, and now they're watching.
Right. And Nancy Lieberman is not a current player, and she thanked Caitlin Clark. Now, the current players don't have to thank Caitlin Clark. Just appreciate it and not hate her. That's all we're saying. And Here's the other thing. When she said we shouldn't hate on her, that was a shot at Cheryl Swoops. There's no question in my mind that was a shot at Cheryl Swoops, which is good. It's good to take a shot at Cheryl Swoops. You don't have to apologize afterwards like Elle Duncan. You take a shot at her. She deserves to have shots taken at her because she's a hater for no reason.
Right. But then, even after that, Swoopes was all upset about that she wasn't broadcasting the game. And she went on a little rant too. It's like, what is wrong with you? It's like.
Well, she also went and talked about the MVP award. And she put Caitlin Clark in her top 5. I think she started with Asia Wilson, not Fisa Collier, but she put her in her top 5, which is where a lot of other people are doing right now, including us. And so it just confirms the fact that we're not being delusional. We're being objective. Nancy Lieberman has no agenda. So there's no reason to think she's not being objective here. And all you got to do is watch Caitlin Clark play and see the fact that the NFL is winning like crazy, that is a legitimate consideration right now for her to be MVP candidate. And no one's saying she's the MVP right now, but she's in the top 5, and I have her third. And Rob, you have her third too?
I have her third.
Yeah. And who knows?
People got upset about that. They thought that she was. See, people don't really listen. The haters, they hear this. All they hear was Clark MVP, and they she can't be MVP. You didn't hear what she said. She said she should be, like we were saying,
candidate. Candidate means top 5 because when you vote for MVP, you put in 5 votes for 5 different players. And you're right.
Yeah, you don't have to vote her number 1, but you can vote her 2, 3, 4, 5. But she's definitely should get a vote for MVP because she has brought up her team that doesn't have superstars or 3 or 4 Olympians like AJ Wilson does. So, I mean, if you want to compare.
Right. And player of the year, again, is different than MVP. And I think Caitlin Clark ranks a little higher in MVP, maybe a lot higher in MVP than player of the year because of her ability to make her teammates better by a large amount. So, like, I think maybe she's like the 4th best player in the league and 3rd in the MVP voting right now. Yeah. Slight difference. I have her Breanna Stewart for the MVP right now, even though Breanna Stewart's probably still a better player. But that's changing quickly. Like you can, you sit down and have scotch with me. You might be able to convince me not only is she MVP, but she's the best player in the league in a weak moment. But I don't want to go that far yet. I want to be objective and ask me again at the end of the year.
Right.
But Nancy Lieberman, she's spot on. And Cheryl Swoops is delusional. She's a hater and she's got psychological problems and she needs
Right.
counseling, really. And she's a racist. Let's be honest about this.
Yes. I mean, yeah, and again, where does this hate come from? I don't know. But I mean, to me, it just if someone does something to you, even then, you're still not going to hate that person. You might dislike, but to out and out just hate them for no reason, only for her playing basketball, that makes you kind of like shallow.
Well,
Very shallow person.
she's obviously not a good person. And she's greatly tarnished her legacy, Rob. Even though it doesn't affect how good a player she was, and she was obviously a great player,
Mm-hmm.
it does affect her legacy in terms of what people think of her.
Yes, it does.
Overall. Because your personality goes into a part of your legacy. That's just the way it is in sports.
That's the way it works.
And so, anyways, all right, let us know what you think. I was thrilled that Cheryl Swoops was not doing the broadcast because I would have gotten ill listening to her,
Yeah.
Minimizing Caitlin Clark's ability and being afraid to compliment her. And so I think it was a smart move, and I anticipate this to happen in the future too, if Cheryl Swoops is do that. And the next step, Rob, is to take away her podcasts, because you should not be paying somebody to put hate in there and not be objective. Because I maintain, Rob, that is important in any broadcaster. It doesn't matter whether you're a national broadcaster or not. If you're going to be commentating in sports, what's the point of doing it if you're not going to be objective? Because then your opinion to me is meaningless. And here's what some fans said, Rob, about Caitlin Clark. This is some responses to the fact that she got replaced. And I think these are some tweets. They need to fire her. The podcast I just talked about. Mm-hmm. She's basically arguing with the wall while CC quietly dominates, one fan said.
I like that one.
Next step is stop sponsoring her podcast. No place for hate in the W. The next comment was Cheryl Swoops is a media disaster. And Sue, and the next one is Sue is seen in the crowd at most games anyways. Might as well give her a mic. So,
exactly.
So yeah, another person said Cheryl Swoops really sunk so low that people have to agree with Stephen A. Smith now. And I wouldn't go that far. But anyways, I thought that was some great comments about Cheryl Swoops. And if she doesn't want crap from people, then quit being a delusional hater for no reason.
Well, she says in her response, or with her case with when she was talking about the Shields, and she says something about including with "don't hate." Yeah, don't hate. She said, "Don't worry about the hate. How about you start? Follow what you say."
Yeah, I don't know. Like I can't take her seriously. That's it.
No.
Anyways, if you don't like Cheryl Swoops, subscribe to our channel. If you agree with us that she's a hater, subscribe to our channel. Just subscribe to our channel.
Right.
And we're looking for 4,000 subscribers, and we need your help.
Almost there. Almost there.
And hit that notification bell so you get notified of our next videos, which come out almost every day, sometimes several a day. And we're going to go live with the Los Angeles Sparks on Wednesday, and that's at 7 o'clock, and it's on CBS Sports Network. And so Rob and I will both be there, so please join us. Our next live show will be a week from today because we're not doing it today, which is Labor Day because it's a holiday. And we're going to do that at 6 to 8 Eastern time every Monday. And you can call in for that show if you want. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want to donate to this channel, there's super chats and super thanks down below. And there's a link to PayPal. And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.